one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win. Now the 2-1. Line drive to the base hit. Justice has scored the tying run. Green to the plate. And he is safe. Safe at the plate. The Braves go to the World Series.
Have reserved seats somewhere along one of the baselines that sat when they were children and cheered their heroes.
Gibson swings and a fly ball to deep right field. This is going to be a home run. Unbelievable!
A 3-run home run for Bucky Dent. The Yankees now lead it by a score of 3-2.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mazeroski has hit a 1-0 pitch over the left field fence at Ford Field to win the 1960 World Series.
They'll arrive at your door as innocent as children, longing for the past.
The Pope arrived at Yankee Stadium. As one enthusiastic announcer put it, he is standing on second base.
Reggie Jackson. Long drive right field. It is goodbye. Big World Series.
The Blue Jays are World Series champions as Joe Carter hits a 3-run home run.
Racket throws. There's a left back. It's going to be, I believe, the Giants from the pennant. The Giants from the pennant. The Giants from the pennant.
The 0-1 pitch. A liner off Nagy's glove into center field. The Florida Marlins have won the World Series.
The memories will be so thick that I can brush them with the faces.
The 1-0 delivery to Fisk. He swings long drive left field. If it stays fair, it's gone. Home run. The Red Sox win. And the series is...
Lolich fires. Ball is hit high in the air. This should be the series. Freehand waving everybody away in foul territory. Detroit wins. Here's the pitch to Willie. Here's a liner straight to Richardson. The ball game is over and the World Series is over. Willie McCovey hit it like a bullet. A line drive right.
Baseball to mark the time.
The Oakland A's take. I'll tell you what, we're having an earth.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Candlestick Park for Game 3 of the 1989 World Series.
It's been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again.
Frank Robinson, the right-hand batter.
Long drive to left field. Way back. Here's hit by. Home run.
Base hit loaded, 1 out. Pena in a chance. The Twins are going to win the World Series. The Twins have won it.
Ozzie with 1 out. Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run. And the
Willie Mays just brought this crowd to its feet with a catch which must have been an optical illusion to a lot of people.
This field, this game, is a part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good, and it could be again.
Broadcasted live.
Hey! Who wants to have some fun?
There are balls coming from all over the place. Left field, center field, right field. See, this is the kind of thing, quite honestly, right now, that makes you want to see the Chicago Cubs team lose.
Now, you just saying you want to have fun, or do you really want to have fun?
It'll be fun.
Will the next person that sees anybody throw anything onto this field, point them out, or get them out of here? You don't live in Cleveland. You live in Cincinnati.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
That is the farthest thing in the universe from the truth.
Hello, everyone, live. It's the Dan Scott Show. And right there is your host, Dan Scott.
guess Howard was talking about me, wasn't he? It's been one of those mornings, but we are here. Good to have you with us. Welcome to the show. I'm Dan Scott. Forrest Stulting never looked better, did he? He is out today doing some prep stuff for his upcoming graduate students experience. So we are very happy to have you with us here. And over the course of the hour, we've got some good stuff we think lined up for you. And I say think because you know how this goes. You cast several lines in this business, and you never know what you're going to reel in, and that's the extent of my fishing expertise. But we've got calls out to a couple of different folks, including one who just, as we speak, sent me a note saying, yes, he could. At 10:45, Dwight Covington is going to come over and hang out with us here, and he's going to give us a little update on ticket sales for the upcoming Furman Wofford game on Saturday, as well as any other ticketing information that might be of some use. So he'll be with us, and hoping, whether it's today or whether it's later on in the week, to catch up with our friend Todd Shaughnessy from the Spartanburg Herald-Journal, who covers Wofford and has covered Wofford for a number of years, to get his perspective on this second round of the FCS playoff matchup. And then before the week is out, we'll get Mark Hauser, the voice of the Terriers, on with us to preview the game as well. But in any event, as I said, we think we've got a good show lined up for you today. We hope that your day is off to a good start. If not, our goal is very simple, and that's to try not to, or if it's not off to a good start, we want to try to find a way to give you a boost. If you are off to a good start, we'll try very hard not to screw it up. Some days we're better at that than others, but the ultimate goal here is for us to learn something we did not know once the show began. And as I always say, for some of us, it is easier than it is for others. Coming up on the program as we go through the course of today, a number of different things that we're going to be talking about, including obviously round 2 of the playoffs, Furman and Wofford. We've got Furman basketball against Winthrop tomorrow night. I'll be recording, actually, as soon as the show is done, be recording the 7th edition of the All Den podcast with Bob Ritchie and strength coach Trent Caldwell this time. That'll be made available probably later this afternoon for download at all the normal places coming out of the basketball office. But more Furman Wofford preview, coaching change news and rumors, and then Adidas fires back at Rick Pitino, and we'll get into some of that stuff as we go on through the course of this hour this morning. We were kicking around some possibilities, playing the what-if game, going back as far as 3 or 4 weeks ago, as to where Furman might land if it made the playoffs and what that structure might look like. And there was a sentiment, not only here, but a sentiment even in some of the people that follow FCS, that if the Paladins made it, they would probably be paired with Kennesaw State. It looked like a pairing that was going to happen. And instead, obviously, we know now that the committee decided that it didn't matter that Furman and Elon had already played in the regular season. That was the matchup. But once that bracket came out, we began to look at the possibilities. And what's looming now is the winner of this game on Saturday heads to North Dakota State. And for me, that's got a little bit of a personal appeal to it. Not that I want to be frigidly cold or anything. That's not necessarily where I'm going with this. But in 2014 and 2015, I spent my summers basically driving coast to coast. Put over 47,000 miles on my van I had at the time, both summers, or close to 47,000 the second summer, delivering things and getting things off of uship.com and taking them all around the country got to see an awful lot of the country. And what it did, it also enabled me over those 2 summers to fill in the gaps on the map of the contiguous 48 states that I had never been in. And that list has now been narrowed down to a single state, the state of North Dakota. And the caveat to that is I was supposed to have been there back in 2013 when Furman made the FCS playoffs the last time. I was supposed to be on that plane that went to Fargo and call that playoff game in the Dome, a game that was tied 7-all at the half, but Furman lost 31-7, I believe, was the final score. But I was with the basketball team, and we had played a game at Fordham, and we're supposed to fly out of LaGuardia the next morning, and we got fogged in. And we stayed fogged in, and eventually they just canceled our flight. We had to spend another night, which meant that I could not get back in time and did not get to make that trip to North Dakota. So I'm calling on this Furman football team to beat Wofford not only for themselves, but to help me add that last missing piece to my contiguous 48 map, and then that'll just leave me Alaska and Hawaii to try and track down. And whether those 2 ever happen, who knows? But I've got a shot at redemption. I've got my own redemption shot. It's a redemption tour with many facets to it. So, if you don't win the game for any other reason, Furman football, win one so I can take care of that one little piece of selfish personal business. Because in the end, isn't it all about me? I would really, he snorted, I would really like to check that off my list. And I want to go to the Fargo Dome. I missed what I've been told is a fantastic atmosphere. And when we were doing some of the social media stuff before the game in 2013, I've become kind of Twitter friends with a North Dakota State fan, and some of the links they go to tailgate up there, like in fully covered tents that are heated on the inside before they brave the elements and go into the dome. I'd like to see that. Of course, none of that matters until you take care of business on Saturday against Wofford. All I'm asking, take care of that business and make it all about me. Let's go there. Let's go back to North Dakota. All right, let's take a break is what we're going to do. We'll come back and we'll talk about some of the coaching changes going on, more Furman Wofford, all kinds of stuff to get into. Just a reminder, though, that as we continue here, the Atlanta Bread Company, which is our presenting sponsor on this program, and Jeff Massey and his folks have been so good to us. I just can't tell you how much we appreciate what they do. They're closed today. They've got some remodeling going on and some other things going on internally. So they're going to be closed today. But as I've been telling you, Little Birdie told me that if you kind of wander over that way and you pretend like you didn't know, you might get a free cup of coffee at the front door, maybe a cookie or two. And then they should be back open tomorrow, regular schedule and ready to go and bringing you all the great food and treating you like family. That's what the Atlanta Bread Company does, located in Cherrydale Plaza. And when you do go over there again tomorrow, starting tomorrow, tell them thank you for what they do in sponsoring this program. You'll hear more about them in this break. We'll come back with more right after this. Don't go away.
Looking for a good lunch spot in the Travelers Rest area? The Cafe at Williams Hardware is your place. Williams Hardware has food for the whole family, from the famous Reuben to the barbecue chicken quesadilla and their daily lunch specials, which includes the award-winning BLT on pimento cheese with pepper jelly, served Tuesday to Thursday. Williams Hardware also serves breakfast on Saturdays from 8 to 11, perfect before Furman home game. And don't forget their gift shop, which offers items for anyone on your list. Go see your friends at the Cafe at Williams Hardware, 13 South Main Street in downtown TR. Full menu and operating hours at the Cafe at WilliamsHardware.com.
So you've got a busted phone or tablet screen. Time to get a new device? Nope. Time to give it CPR. CPR cell phone repair at Cherrydale can repair almost any phone or tablet screen on the market and usually can do it same day. In fact, if you have an iPhone, the fix usually takes less than an hour. CPO cell phone repair also can fix computers and gaming systems, both screens and hard drives. And they sell refurbished devices and new accessories. Stop by and see the new owner, Janet Culver, today and check them out on Facebook. That's CPR cell phone repair at Cherrydale, 864-282-9097. Give it CPR today.
Hey Furman fans, it's baseball season. Here at Ingalls, we know that as you root for the home team, sometimes you want more than just peanuts and Cracker Jack. And while we do deliver on your favorite ballpark classics, we're proud to offer a packed lineup of everything you need to make your next meal a home run. Ingalls, a proud sponsor of Furman Baseball and the official grocery store of Furman Athletics. Go Dins!
The Atlanta Bread Company at Cherrydale Point offers a dining experience that will have you coming back for more time and time again. Everything is freshly made on site, including the different varieties of bread and all the baked goodies. And the menu, Atlanta Bread Company offers a wide variety from hot soups and chili to hot and cold sandwiches and paninis. Even breakfast selections topped off with your choice of piping hot coffees. Come see for yourself. You'll love it. The Atlanta Bread Company at Cherrydale Point, proud sponsors of the Furman Paladins and the Dan Scott Show. All right, welcome back to the Dan Scott Show. We're located here in the radio booth at Paladin Stadium overlooking the field and out to beautiful Paris Mountain. It's another gorgeous day here in the upstate, and we are very happy to have you with us here on the program. We were talking about coaching changes and that whole carousel, and man, is it really starting to heat up. We got into it a little bit yesterday, but I thought we would spend some more time on it here this morning because it promises to be, potentially anyway, one of the craziest stretches that we've seen in a long time and maybe ever with the dominoes falling. So I just don't know exactly how it's all going to play out, but potentially the number of FCS or FBS jobs that could be open could be staggering by the time it's said and done. And where do you see the FCS list that I've got for you? But here is what we know right now. Of course, some of this we talked about yesterday. Chip Kelly is definitely the new head coach at UCLA. Greg Schiano is definitely not the coach at Tennessee. Dan Mullen is definitely the new coach at Florida. Texas A&M has fired Kevin Sumlin after 6 seasons. And one of the guys who is a big name rising star in the coaching circles just signed a new 6-year extension with his current school, and that's Iowa State's Matt Campbell. Now look, you win at Iowa State, and you are going to attract a lot of attention in the coaching world, and that's what's happened. Matt Campbell, 7-5 this year at Iowa State. They were in contention for a while for the Big 12 championship game appearance before stumbling a little bit at the end. But he has worked wonders there. He just agreed to a new 6-year, $22.5 million extension that goes into effect immediately. His annual salary increases from $2.1 million to $3.5 million, and this may be as important, a total of $1 million in raises for his assistant coaching staff. So Iowa State has ponied up some bucks to keep a guy who has made them relevant, hoping that he can continue that upward climb. And as important, as what he's getting paid, is funneling more money into his assistant coaching staff so he can either hire or maintain the level of quality assistants that he has right now. So Matt Campbell, who was one of the hottest names on the potential coach for a number of schools, is now off the board after that contract extension, which goes into effect immediately. Interestingly enough, in the wake of the Greg Schiano debacle at Tennessee, Tennessee reached out, according to reports, to David Cutcliffe, the head coach at Duke. Now, you remember Cutcliffe was an assistant coach at Tennessee under Philip Fulmer, he said, for those of you who speak English. He has decided and told Tennessee that he wants to finish his coaching career at Duke. Now, he has been a great fit there. He has made Duke football more relevant than it's been since Steve Spurrier won a share of the ACC title there in 1989. Angry Duke football fan is no longer angry, okay? That's how relevant that Cutcliffe has made the Duke program. Tennessee reached out to him. And boy, you talk about a guy who would be a perfect fit, really, for Tennessee, because Tennessee fans love him. He's a heck of a football coach. He obviously is a quarterback guru, and he's an offensive guy who knows how to put quality people in positions to be successful. And if you can do it at Duke with what they have, the thought is obviously he could do it at Tennessee. But Cutcliffe, who's 63 years old and was the offensive coordinator at Tennessee from 93 to 98, he coached at Tennessee from 82 to 98, so he was there for Johnny Majors as well as Philip Fulmer, before leaving to become the Ole Miss head coach from 98 to 2004, took the Rebels to 4 bowl games, and then topped that by taking Duke to 4 straight bowl games in 2012 to 2015, the 2013 ACC Coastal title. He decides to stay at Duke rather than take the more high-profile Tennessee job, a place where he would have been treated like an absolute king. That tells me 2 things. At 63 years old, he's happy where he is. He likes the situation he has at Duke. And that Tennessee is a bigger dumpster fire than anybody ever knew or realized it could become. And I think we're seeing that play out before our eyes right now. It has been a mess and continues to be a mess, and doesn't appear that it's going to be solved anytime soon. The other guy that seems to be surfacing now as somebody who would appease this fan base, which, you know, if you're John Curry, the athletic director, you've got yourself in a tremendous bind over this Greg Schiano thing with the fan base, with the media, with everybody else. Everybody has turned on this guy, and probably with good reason, because he has, I think you'd have to say, he's botched this thing pretty badly. But the guy whose name seems to be surfacing now is T. Martin, who, of course, followed Peyton Manning at Tennessee and won a national championship for the Vols in the first year of the BCS back in 1998, I think it was. So T. Martin is a guy that perhaps would appease the fan base. His name seems to be being mentioned more prominently for Tennessee, but whether that's the direction they go, who knows? It was interesting that John Curry was supposed to speak at a quarterback club meeting somewhere yesterday, and I would say wisely on his part, turned that down, changed his mind and canceled that appearance. So that soap opera continues. How about Jimbo Fisher to Texas A&M. That rumor mill is beginning to churn faster and faster and faster. And there's a growing sentiment that Fisher would leave Florida State to take the job at Texas A&M. It has obviously not been a good season at Florida State with the injury to DeAndre Francois in the first game of the season and the struggles they have had. The struggles actually began even last year. It's not been quite the same program. And according to people who supposedly are in the know and very close to the situation there, Fisher is becoming more and more discontented with Florida State and their either inability or lack of what's the word I'm looking for here? Their lack of sense of urgency in keeping their facilities upgraded to the level of Clemson. Clemson has zoomed past them as it has everybody else in the ACC and most schools around the country, in fact, with their facilities. And it's no accident that all of those things play into where they have been the last two seasons and where they could be and probably are going here for a third season in a row, and that's back to the 4-team playoff. So people down there who claim to know what's going on say Jimbo Fisher is not happy with the Florida State administration because they have allowed that to happen and are not taking the necessary steps in his eyes fast enough to catch up. So the theory is he can go to Texas A&M where they've got, they're like a lot of schools in the SEC and some other places, basically printing their own money. And that type of thing is not going to be an issue. That, Florida State is a major job, and there's a lot to like about the Florida State job. But when it comes to resources, when it comes to money, when it comes to facilities, when it comes to all of these little things, recruiting budget and everything else that goes into what coaches are looking for these days, the general feeling is that Texas A&M is a better situation than Florida State is. And Jimbo Fisher apparently is seriously considering leaving the Seminoles and taking that job. And now whether it happens or not, who knows? Maybe this is a chance for him to leverage some of those facility upgrades and other things in the infrastructure that he wants and stay in Tallahassee. Maybe he likes Tallahassee. I don't know. But the bottom line is there's a growing sentiment that he could be in serious thought about leaving Florida State and heading to Texas A&M. And wouldn't that be something? My, how the mighty perhaps have fallen down in Tallahassee. And this is not just an FBS situation. Take a look at this list from FCS stats that I pulled today. Where is it? Here we go. Take a look at this list. Since the start of the 2017 season, count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 FCS schools are looking for new coaches. And you see firings there that happened as early as October 6th when Brian Jenkins was let go at Alabama State, and all the way up to November 20th, just more recently, 8 days ago, when Robert Morris let go of John Banaszak, when Hampton let go of Connell Maynor, when Monty Coleman was set loose at Arkansas Pine Bluff, and there's one more I mentioned. Kenny Carter was let go at Delaware State. And of those 14 openings, 13 of them are still open. Brad Laird the new coach at Northwestern State replacing Jay Thomas, and that happened in a 3-day span. Thomas was out on November 17th. Laird was hired on November 20th. That's the only FCS job of the 14 openings that have been filled. So it's not just happening at the FBS level. It's happening at the FCS level, and it's a trickle-down economics, for lack of a better term. The same things that are happening at the highest level are happening at Furman's level as well. The dollar amounts are significantly different. There's no question about that. But the same thing still applies. I mean, why do you think Furman is in the 5th year in this brand new facility that we have here that is state-of-the-art and easily the best in the Southern Conference? Is because the old one, which was built in 1981 and was state-of-the-art then, had become decrepit, had become outdated, and schools in our league had zoomed past us. Well, what do? If you're going to be successful, this is one of those steps that you have to do. It was desperately needed. I can promise you the old radio booth, which was on the other end of the building, was about not even half the size of this one. And when Corey Stewart, who was my color guy at the time, and I were in the booth at the same time, we always joked that it was so small that one of us had to go outside to change our minds. So it happens here. It happens in other places. You know, conference realignment has not been unique to just the FBS level. We have seen here in the Southern Conference, going back to 2013, when that exodus took place of Elon and Appalachian State, Georgia Southern leaving the conference, Davidson leaving as a basketball school, and how the conference has changed since then. And you know, there were a lot of people when App State and Georgia Southern especially left this conference were wondering if the Southern Conference was even worthy of an automatic bid in the FCS playoffs. And in the last 2 years, we've had 7 teams combined get in, 4 last year and 3 this year in a 24-team bracket. So the conference has bounced back nicely, maybe sometimes in spite of itself. But the point I'm making is that the things that are happening with those millions and millions and millions of dollars, maybe even billions of dollars if you put it all together on the FBS level, same things are going on here. If you don't win enough games, you're going to be out. And a new coach is going to come in and get a shot. If you're serious about winning, you're going to do your best to keep your facilities on par or better than the other teams in your conference. So it's a process that even at our level takes place. It's not anywhere near, as I said, the dollar figures, the drastic cutthroat type of mentality where maybe a coach is going to be gone after just a year or two sometimes, depending on how things go. But it does happen at the FCS level. And I'm sitting in a room that is proof of that. That here at Furman, they had to make a decision a number of years ago to spend some money to show that they were serious about getting this football program back where Furman fans believe it belongs. The next piece of the puzzle was Clay Hendricks. And we've seen how all of that has now started to fit together. The fundraising and everything else that has come in. Still a long way to go, but the infrastructure, the facilities, the coaching staff, all of the things that are necessary at our level to be competitive are starting to fall into place. Still some work to be done, but they're all starting to fall into place. And it had to happen, just like facilities have to happen in other places. It's really an interesting study. It's an interesting dichotomy to look at, and people don't often think about it as much on this level because you're looked at as more of a true quote-unquote student athlete. And most FCS schools, I won't say all of them, and I won't name some of the ones that perhaps don't fall into that category for lack of, try to keep myself out of trouble with my bosses and some other people. But it does happen at this level. Winning matters, facilities matter. You're just not talking about the number of dollars that are spent here as much as they are in other places. All right, let's step out to a break. When we come back, we will continue with more. Dwight Covington will join us in about 10 minutes. This is a Dan Scott Show live here on a Tuesday, and we'll return after this.
Stuck in a state of falling behind? Struggling to keep up with your kids, finances, insurance? Then let State Farm agent Steve Borkland in Travelers Rest help you simplify and get to a better state. Because with Steve handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time for everything else. More money, too, because adding State Farm policies could mean earning discounts worth up to 40%. That's money Steve can help you put towards a college savings plan. Call State Farm agent Steve Borkland today and get to a better state with State Farm.
Let me tell you something, Cowboy. This rookie can really bring the heat.
He's smoky and spicy with a Chipotle style all his own.
It's a new Montgomery Inn Chipotle barbecue sauce. Make it a part of your home team.
Available now at your neighborhood grocer or online at CincyFavorites.com.
Looking for a good lunch spot in the Travelers Rest area? The Cafe at Williams Hardware is your place. Williams Hardware has food for the whole family, from the famous Reuben to the barbecue chicken quesadilla and their daily lunch specials, which includes the award-winning BLT on pimento cheese with pepper jelly, served Tuesday to Thursday. Williams Hardware also serves breakfast on Saturdays from 8 to 11, perfect before Furman home game. And don't forget their gift shop, which offers items for anyone on your list. Go see your friends at the Cafe at Williams Hardware, 13 South Main Street in downtown TR. Full menu and operating hours at the Cafe at WilliamsHardware.com.
Say you've got a busted phone or tablet screen. Time to get a new device? Nope. Time to give it CPR. CPR Cell Phone Repair at Cherrydale can repair almost any phone or tablet screen on the market and usually can do it same day. In fact, if you have an iPhone, the fix usually takes less than an hour. CPO Cell Phone Repair also can fix computers and gaming systems, both screens and hard drives. And they sell refurbished devices and new accessories. Stop by and see the new owner, Janet Culver, today and check them out on Facebook. That's CPR Cell Phone Repair at Cherrydale, 864-282-9097. Give it CPR today. All right, welcome back to the show as we continue here on a Tuesday. Dave Glenn with us tomorrow to talk all things ACC. To be very interested to get his thoughts on a potential Jimbo Fisher move to Texas A&M. And, of course, we will know what the committee's poll looks like tomorrow as well. That comes out tonight, the new poll. And this will be the next to last poll. The new one, actually, the final one will come out on Sunday, and that's when all of the got a little issue. There we go. That's when all of the bowls and everything will be set. So we'll know all that coming up. Let me tell you quickly about our friends at Hall's Chop House, located in downtown Greenville. The Greenville Steakhouse. And, folks, as I remind you, if you're going to call yourself the anything in a city like Greenville, you really have to be able to back it up. And their menu does. It starts with Allen Brothers Prime Steaks, and everything falls into place from there. That's out of Chicago. The steaks are fantastic. All of their menu is just incredible. You need to go check it out. Check the presentation out as well as the taste. They do such a phenomenal job. And as we are in Christmas season now, if you got Christmas parties coming up, you have corporate gatherings of any kind, they have plenty of meeting space to go with that menu, and they can take care of you with no trouble. They're located in downtown Greenville, the Greenville Steakhouse. That is Hall's Chop House. Please tell them you heard about them right here on the show. I want to shift gears just a little bit while we're waiting for Dwight Covington to make his way in here in the next 4 or 5 minutes or so, if all goes according to plan, and talk a little bit of NCAA basketball. And unfortunately, it's not on the field stuff, or on the court stuff. They play basketball on a court and not a field. The reports coming out of Louisville. Have you seen this? WDRB, the television station there, is reporting that Adidas, firing back at Rick Pitino, says that he, quote, supported the plan to pay Louisville recruits. Now, Pitino, of course, has claimed he has no knowledge of the pay-for-play that was uncovered by the FBI. But Adidas says, wait a minute. They've asked a federal judge to dismiss Pitino's lawsuit against the apparel company. This, again, according to a report from WDRB. Citing evidence that suggests Pitino was, quote, both aware and supported the scheme, unquote, that ultimately funneled money to recruits. Now, the report from WDRB included this paragraph, quote, the evidence cited by Adidas against Pitino from the complaint includes allegations that the former coach was asked to call an Adidas executive, James Gatto, to get more funding for a recruit. And the company points out that Pitino allegedly called Gatto 3 times before the recruit announced his commitment. Now, as the story goes, it's not exactly what you would call a smoking gun, but it's strong circumstantial evidence that, if true, would refute Pitino's claims that he had no idea what was going on. So Adidas, under a great deal of pressure and scrutiny and fire and everything else because of this whole shoe money madness mess, is fighting back, at least where Rick Pitino is concerned, with evidence they say proves that he did know what was going on, and because of that, asking that federal judge to dismiss the lawsuit. So that's a little bit of an update where that's concerned, and we will keep you posted as those things, events warrant. All right, a quick break. You may have seen him walk through the door. He is the man who knows everything there is to know about tickets for Furman and Wofford, among other things. Dwight Covington going to hang out with us for the remainder of the program, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Hey Furman fans, it's baseball season. Here at Ingalls, we know that as you root for the home team, sometimes you want more than just peanuts and Cracker Jack. And while we do deliver on your favorite ballpark classics, we're proud to offer a packed lineup of everything you need to make your next meal a home run. Ingalls, a proud sponsor of Furman Baseball and the official grocery store of Furman Athletics. Go Dins!
The Atlanta Bread Company at Cherrydale Point offers a dining experience that will have you coming back for more time and time again. Everything is freshly made on site, including the different varieties of bread and all the baked goodies. And the menu, Atlanta Bread Company offers a wide variety from hot soups and chili to hot and cold sandwiches and paninis. Even breakfast selections topped off with your choice of piping hot coffees. Come see for yourself. You'll love it. The Atlanta Bread Company at Cherrydale Point, proud sponsors of the Furman Paladins and the Dan Scott Show.
Let me tell you something, Cowboy. This rookie can really bring the heat.
He's smoky and spicy with a Chipotle style all his own.
It's a new Montgomery Inn Chipotle barbecue sauce. Make it a part of your home team.
Available now at your neighborhood grocer or online at CincyFavorites.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. It is 10:44. You know, what I like is a guy who's not only punctual but early. Dwight Covington said he could be here at 10:45, and he's early.
Bang.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Dan? Great to be a Paladin.
I am wonderful. Yeah, it's a good day to be a Paladin. It's been a series of good days to be a Paladin.
Yes, it has. We've got a lot of great things going on here, not only from an athletic standpoint, but an educational standpoint. We got 2,600 students over there working hard on their future.
Yeah, and today is Giving Tuesday, by the way, here at Furman, as it is, I guess, across the country, but we focus on what's going on here. So you can check online for a lot of different giving opportunities. And do you notice that none of them include the show here. They're all about the school and the students and everything else. I guess I wouldn't turn down anything.
That's true.
But I'm not actively seeking anything either.
Okay. No GoFundMe pages right
now.
now.
No GoFundMe pages.
All right. Okay.
So, how are ticket sales going for Wofford this week?
Well, it starts with a W. Wow. I mean, wow. We blew through our initial 500 yesterday. I went to Spartanburg this morning and picked up another batch of tickets, and we will probably blow through those today.
Really?
Yes. I think we're about halfway through them now, and the orders coming in. We sold a bunch online. Folks had the first opportunity to come to the box office yesterday, and they kept our fine folks in there busy all day yesterday. So that's really exciting. It's exciting to see our fans and also new folks that I've talked to several of them that bought online that were new names that I've never seen before. They were new to our ticketing system, and so I picked up the phone and called some of them and just get to know you kind of call. And so we're thrilled to have them coming out and following the Paladins over to Wofford. Big game.
And every time that happens, Dwight sits there like this because that means that person is going to be getting an email for season tickets.
Do you think? Yes.
if
that might be in the plan.
If it's not already been sent.
That's right. That's right. We're finding out about them, and that's fun. And it's always nice to make new friends around the Greenville and upstate area, and that's been exciting. And honestly, we got a lot of folks coming from Georgia, and a number from Alabama and Tennessee. So they're coming in from all over. Paladins are coming to, and will collide over in Spartanburg. It's going to be an exciting experience up there.
Did you get a final or at least an approximate number of how many fans we had down in or up in Elon? Because Clay mentioned how at times that felt like a home game because of how many fans we had there. They had less than 3,000 in the place, and I'm just, in my meager math skills, I'm just guesstimating that probably 40% of them were Furman fans.
I think your math skills are pretty good. About somewhere between 11 and 1,200 was a really good estimate. My counterpart up there, Thomas, told me that a good bit of the walk-up was Furman, and also the night before, when we had turned ticket sales over to them, I'd linked our site directly to their ticket page. He said they had about another 100 tickets come in, and again, they were all on our side of the stadium. So it was a tremendous showing. Did a little video with Clay talking about it right at the end when Hunter interviewed him after the game, and took that and kind of spliced it up and took some shots of the crowd while we were down there right at the very end, and it looked super. It was all purple wall over there, and what a great ending. I mean, you couldn't ask for a tighter game and then a great ending with the blocked extra point. Just you couldn't script it better than that.
Well, I could personally. I would have preferred the 56-20 type win over the Citadel. But playoff football, especially the deeper you go, you're going to get some blowouts in early rounds. But the deeper you go, more often than not, you're going to get tighter games. You're coming up against better teams, and that's what makes it so great. And now we get, after redemption from the week 2 loss to Elon, now we get a chance for redemption at the week 1 loss to Wofford, Mike Buddy's Redemption Tour 2017.
Rolls on.
Yeah, which when he did that, when the playoff bracket was announced, I know that Clay was like, "Gee, thanks, Mike. Can we not just play Elon before we start talking about a redemption tour?" But
just put the bullseye somewhere else, please. Yeah.
So it's worked out well. So it sounds to me like we're going to have at least as many and probably more fans at Wofford than we had up at Elon.
I think so. And students, I've gotten a couple of emails from students. We've actually had students buy tickets at the full price, even though our page tells them that they can walk up on game day over at Wofford with their student ID and buy a ticket for $10. But that's a game day only. They have to come up and physically buy it and show their ID. But we've had several students that just said, I want a ticket to that game, and they bought it for the $25 price. I'm working on a bus for students. That one of the problems is there's a lot going on in this region right now with football and championship games and everything else. And so I'm still waiting to hear. It's a fill or kill time right now, whether I will get a bus or not. We can take students over there.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but there was some talk about trying to move the basketball game, but I don't think that's going to happen because Tennessee Tech would also have to agree to that. I don't know if they're still working on that right now, but at least at this juncture, it hasn't been.
We just talked about it in our marketing meeting, and matter of fact, Coach Ritchie offered to move it, and it just from a standpoint of logistics, moving it to 7 o'clock didn't make a difference as far as workers and everything else. It just would not make a difference. But he graciously understood that folks want to go to the football game, and so he tried to help us work it out. But I believe, if I heard right, that we are going to play the game at the same time at 5 o'clock on Saturday. So that's where we are right now.
Yeah. So if folks want to get their tickets and they want to make sure they want to make sure they're sitting in the Furman section, what do they do?
They can do three things. They can go online at FurmanPaladins.com. If you go up to our ticket drop down, right there are 4 or 5 listings there. At the very bottom, it says FCS playoff tickets at Wofford. Click on that. That takes you to the page. Click on it again, and you can purchase tickets right there online. We can either have them at will call at Wofford, or if you decide to come over, you can pick them up at Timmons. Or you can come by the box office. We're open 10 to 5 every day at Timmons Arena and buy them there and pick them up right there. Or you can call in, and we can have them at will call. We'll have a nice presence over at Wofford as far as a will call tent, because I had 2 other people helping me at Elon, at Elon, and I got to tell you, we still had a line. We were moving it just as fast as we could go, but we still had a line. And then also you had fans that were coming over thinking they bought from us, but they'd actually bought the day before and bought them from Elon. So a little bit of logistics that you always work through, but it was great game day. Boy, that was a fun day at Elon.
Bottom line is, if you want a ticket to this game, and you know you do.
Yes, you do.
If you want a ticket to this game, this guy can get it to you. And there are multiple ways to do so. And you want to make sure that you're sitting in the Furman section and that we are as loud and boisterous as we can be.
That's right. Box office number is 864-294-3099. And my cell phone number is out there also. It's on the website, and any of us can take your ticket order, and we'd be glad to do so.
Let me do this very quickly. Make something on the fly here. Normally this is something that would be done ahead of time, but I just want people to be able to see that number again. So I'm actually going to write it on the screen. Where's my texting here?
Just like me, Dan, you're a high-tech redneck. I like that.
Yeah. Among other things. That number again is
864-294-3099.
3099. So there you go. That's the number. Let me fit it to the screen here. I would say this is live broadcasting at its best, but best would be an optimal term.
Okay.
or an untrue term. But there's the number for those of you who want to get your tickets, 864-294-3099. And we'll keep that around for the rest of the week, and I'll spruce it up a little bit, but on the fly kind of gets the idea across.
Appreciate it. Dan, we got mentioned a couple other things about tickets.
Yes,
and close to your heart, baseball was announced yesterday, and we'll have those tickets up and running. We're still putting that in. There were some changes in the schedule that from the original schedule that we got, and so we're fixing that and getting season tickets ready. And also our what was very, very popular last year was our 20-game pack, where you can buy 20 tickets for $20. Use it in any game. Very popular with groups and just individuals. Those are for the games that are played at Latham Stadium. And then, of course, season tickets will be $50 again, and that includes the floor field games that we play down there with Clemson and the Gamecocks.
So $50.
$50 gets you a ticket to each one of the floor field games and all the games that we play at Latham Stadium.
Okay.
Start off with Marist, the Red Foxes, in a 3-game series, and it's a good-looking schedule. He's not backing down from anybody.
No, I think I saw yesterday 10 of the first 11 games are against teams that made NCAA regionals. the schedule is front loaded with a lot of home games, taking in, of course, the games that are at Fluor Field as well, and then you've got road trips to North Carolina State and to Wichita State. You know how the Wichita State series came about?
No, I have no idea.
That was supposed to be at the University of Cincinnati, and I was all fired up about that. You know how much I love Cincinnati.
Hometown.
Well, Wichita State left their conference and came into the American Conference, which is where Cincinnati is, which means that they needed a conference weekend series. So Cincinnati had to scrap our series to give Wichita State that series. Well, apparently Brett Harker and everybody else on the staff, they looked all across the country, tried to get people to come here, tried to get creative with some things, couldn't get it to work. So they just ended up filling the gap that Wichita State then had in its schedule from a weekend. So that's how we're going to Kansas in March.
Oh, wow. Yeah, windswept Kansas in March.
Tom Van Hoy tells me it's a very nice facility, by the way.
Okay. But you're going to have some great road trips. I mean, I'm sorry you're going to miss Cincinnati, but that's going to be a good, a nice trip. And I think Brett's got, he's got some new pitching in. He's got some good hitting coming back. So it's going to be an exciting schedule, I think, year for the Furman Paladin baseball team. And then basketball tickets, we're still selling them both season and individual games. And we've got a couple of games coming up here with Winthrop, who beat us last year. Was it an overtime buzzer beater?
It was on a desperation prayer of an off balance 3-point shot that banked in that beat us.
Yes, and I remember watching. I happened to watch that game online, and it was one of those you just felt the air go out of the balloon. And then we've got UNCA coming in, which throttled Wofford over the weekend up in Asheville.
And they've beaten us either the last 2 or 3 times we've played them, so it'd be nice to get a little revenge there too.
Yeah, very, very, very good UNCA team. They always bring it.
All right, anything else going on ticket-wise?
Those are the hot items right now. Of course, the girls are playing very hot too. The women's basketball team, are having a lot of success, and we've got just a couple of games in December with that. We got the doubleheader with Bob Jones next week for the women, and then UNCA is the rubber game with the men.
All right, again, tickets for any of that
at all.
864-294-3099, and Dwight will be more than happy to take your money.
And you can add to that right there, www.furmanpaladins.com/tickets, and that'll do it.
I will do that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks
Appreciate
for the time.
it.
It's good to be up here looking out at Paris Mountain.
Isn't it beautiful?
Oh, my goodness. What a sunshiny, beautiful day.
People who've worked here for 20, 30 years, when they come up here, they say, man, you have the best view on campus.
They really do. I mean, it's just phenomenal. And I can say, I used to live over there, just way up there, right in that notch right there. For the first 2 years I was here at Furman, I rented a basement room from a great couple up there in the leagues. So that's a lot of good
Up on the mountain?
Up on the mountain, right there in the notch. I can see it from right up here, and you can see campus. Get up in the morning, and you can see all the way down. You see the 2 rivers, the Reedy and the starts with an S, and I can't think of it right off the top of my head. But Saluda, thank you. That you could tell where they were because of the steam over the top of them. It's really just a cool view. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, thank you much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you.
That's going to wrap it up for us today. We appreciate your attention. And as I told you, next for me immediately is recording the All Den podcast, episode 7, with Bob Ritchie and strength coach Trent Caldwell. That will be available to download probably later this afternoon. Back with you tomorrow, Dave Glenn, ACCsports.com, among others. And we will see you then. Until then, for Dwight Covington, I'm Dan Scott. God bless you. So long, everybody.